I'm Ted Coley, and I'm a consular officer, and I specialize in American citizen services overseas. I've moved back here last year. Before that, I moved overseas in 1984 and lived overseas the whole time until last year. I'm here to talk to you about how to have a safe and rewarding trip when you're overseas. I have a short amount of time, so I'm just going to talk about three things. First, I'm going to tell you about know before you go. Second, I'm going to talk about registering with the embassy. And third, I'm going to tell you to call home. First, know before you go. How many of you have been overseas already at least once before? Okay, great, most of you. How many of you researched nightlife when you were going overseas, researched things to do, museums, restaurants? I'm sure all of you. How many of you looked at the country-specific information for the country where you were traveling? Oh, wow, most of you actually, that's good. Okay, the State Department has a consular information program that basically tells American citizens everything they need to know when they're traveling overseas in order to have a safe and secure trip. We don't tell you where the best nightclubs are, we don't tell you where the best restaurants are, we don't tell you about museum hours. What we tell you about are road safety, about entry and exit requirements for your country. We tell you about disease prevalence in the country. We tell you about water safety in the country, aviation safety. I don't have a PowerPoint, so I'm not going to tell you the address, or don't have it written, but it's travel.state.gov. Before you go overseas, since most of you have already done it, you know about this. If you haven't, go to travel.state.gov, or even easier, go to Google and type State Department Ecuador or State Department Honduras, whatever country you're traveling to, and most likely that first link you'll find on Google is the country-specific information for the country where you're traveling. It's great to know what the best nightclub is, but you only have half the information if you don't know that there's a prevalence or 6 Americans have been attacked by someone dropping scopolamine into the cocktail when they left their cocktail on the bar and went out dancing. It's great to know what the best beach is, but it's best to know that there's really bad riptides in most beaches in this area and that people have died and drowned. So if you're going to know what the best places are, know what the safe place to do, or what the safe places to go, or not safe places. Know what the dangers are and what the risks are of where you're traveling. So that's the first thing, know before you go. Second is register with the embassy. How many people registered with the embassy when you went overseas? Fewer. It takes about 3 minutes to register your trip with the embassy. Again, if you go to Google and say, register my trip, the first link you'll see is a link to the State Department's internet-based registration system. It takes about 5 minutes to enter your information in there, telling them who you are, and then telling them where you're going. What this gets you is on the embassy's email list for information when the embassy has a travel alert or a warden message to send out to the public. Ever since the Pan Am 103 Lockerbie bombing, where Pan Am 103 went down over Lockerbie, Congress passed what's called the No Double Standard Act. And that basically says when the State Department has information about a threat to the American traveling public that is credible, specific, and not easily countered, the State Department has to share that information with the American public. Most often, the embassies do that by issuing what's called a warden message. And that is basically simply an email that it sends out to every American who's registered with that embassy as being in the country at that date. So if you're in Cuencas, Ecuador, and you want to go see the museum downtown, and you wake up in the morning, you see an email, and the embassy is going to tell you there are violent protests scheduled because the miners are on strike, then you might want to rearrange your travel plans. If you don't register, you're not going to know it, and you're going to walk right into the middle of a demonstration. Lost my train of thought. Okay, so register. Again, very simple. Register with the embassy. You'll start getting emails. Tell your mom and dad to register with the embassy as well so that they know what's going on. And that leads me to my third point, call home. If I had $1 for every time I got a call from a mom and dad worried about Johnny and Susie who were traveling overseas when a bomb went off in the country, my kids would be going to George Washington instead of Mary Washington right now. If you are registered, you'll know about it, and you can call mom and dad and say, I'm okay. If you're in Bolivia and there's a strike up in the north and you're down in the south, call home, tell mom and dad you're okay. If you're in Taiwan and there's a tsunami in Thailand, call home, tell mom and dad, I'm in Taiwan, it's many hours away. If you're in South Africa, in Pretoria, and there's an incident 400 miles away, call home. Mom and dad aren't going to be looking at a map when they hear. All they're going to hear is the name of the country. So that's basically my presentation. It's shorter so because we started late, and I want to leave time for questions, but I think we'll take questions at the end, correct? Yes. Okay. Thank you.